Hi, I'm Michelle, the Posh PA. And listen, it can be really hard to decide which healthcare career is right for you. You may be considering a career as a PA or maybe as a physician or a nurse, and it's hard to decide which path might be the right fit for you in terms of both your personal and your professional goals. So, today I'm going to talk a little bit about some things to consider if you are thinking about becoming a PA. But first, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button because I'm going to be here every week dropping new videos to help you along the way. Okay, so I'm going to be very frank and honest with you. I did not know that I wanted to become a PA until after I graduated college. In fact, I didn't even know that becoming a PA was an option. I had really only thought of, physician or nurse. I really didn't know that there was anything in between. And if you are that way, that is totally normal, by the way. The PA profession is newer in terms of its longevity as opposed to MDs, DOs, and nurses. So the PA profession was started in the late 1960s. And so even though we've grown substantially over the years, sometimes people are unaware of what the role of a PA is. So it's important to think about a few different things, but the best way that you can figure out which career is right for you is to see them in action. So I would highly recommend shadowing different professions so that you can see the different roles and responsibilities and the day-to-day responsibilities of each role and see which one resonates with you most. Right? So if you have the opportunity, I would shadow physicians, PAs, nurse practitioners, even nurses if you're considering that, because you want to get an idea of how each role is different, how they impact patient care, and do they align with both your professional and personal goals. What do I mean by that? So as far as your professional goals, in any of these careers, you have the opportunity for growth in many different areas, both in and outside of medicine. And that is going to look different for you based on what your personal goals are in your life. So I'm going to use myself as an example because I went through this process. So after I had graduated college, I was working in a lab, a research lab, in Boston, Massachusetts. And I pretty quickly realized that I did not really enjoy the laboratory life, even though I was a genetics major and that's what I majored in and that's what I thought I was going to do. When I considered my options, I considered PhD, physician, or nurse practitioner. And it really wasn't until a family friend recommended to me that I speak to their daughter because she was a PA. And I took the time to talk to her on the phone, and she told me about this profession and how, the length of her training and how intense it was, and that what she needed to apply to PA school, but that she loved it and she felt very fulfilled in her everyday life, but she still had a lot of flexibility. And that really resonated with me because at that point in my life, I had no idea if I was going to be married or have children or travel or do whatever. So having that piece of flexibility really was appealing to me. And the other thing that was appealing to me at the time was the time to training. And so I would be able to kind of get out into my career a little bit faster than if I was to go, the physician route or the PhD route. And so talking to her really highlighted some amazing things about the profession. And when I started to dig into it a little bit more, research the foundations of the profession, and really look into what I needed to accomplish to be able to apply to PA school, I felt that it resonated with me. It was doable. I felt like I could be happy in this career. And then I started finding other PAs to talk to and really trying to understand what their roles were like. In the meanwhile, I researched nursing programs, nurse practitioner programs, what the training looked like there. I had a nurse practitioner that I had as a friend. I talked to her about her journey. My husband, now husband, is a physician. And so, I talked to him about what the process was of applying to medical school, because we were just dating at the time, and, really what the path of a physician looked like. And so really using your connections and talking to people about these different roles. And now you have the benefit of social media and finding people that are on Instagram and on YouTube and talking about their professions and the different ways that they can impact people. So use that to your advantage to really research the profession, all of the professions, what some practice issues might be if you got out into the field later on, and really think about which one resonates with you the most. And ultimately, for me, I felt that the PA profession, like I said earlier, would allow me the versatility to be able to move not only between different specialties, but be able to have and create the flexibility to, work part-time or work full-time or go into research or go into teaching or do any of those things. But the time to training was less because I was already out of college and pursuing this as a, postgraduate degree. And I just felt that when I met and interacted with PAs, that the way they spoke to patients and the way they interacted with the team really fit my personality. I loved the idea of working with a collaborative physician. I loved that idea. I loved the thought of being part of a team. I think that everybody has opinions and perspectives that can be valuable when taking care of patients. I still think that to this day. Yet the profession would give me the autonomy to be able to practice and really make an impact on the lives of others. So for me, that is how I made that decision. And I encourage you to think about all of those aspects as well as you are entering into this process. Now, the application process looks different for each of these routes. And so, the PA application cycle takes about a year or more, and you have to prepare in advance for that. I have other videos on that on this channel, which you can look at after this one if you're considering really digging into that application cycle. I also have a self-directed course called Expressway to PA that will take you through some of the most important questions, the most challenging aspects of the PA profession as well. But the application to medical school looks different than the application to PA school. That looks different than the application to NP school. Okay. And in a separate video, I will talk about the biggest differences between a PA and an NP because it's a very frequently asked question. So make sure you're coming back here every week. So when thinking about these different professions, I really want you to talk to people, do your research, and really get out there and be able to shadow these different professions and see what is going to align with your personal and your future professional goals. I can say that as a PA, sometimes people ask me if I feel limited. I do not. I do not feel limited. I have no regrets about the profession that I chose. It has allowed me to really get not only enjoy medicine because I just love the practice of medicine, but connect with my patients, talk to them on a level that they can understand, but also have roles in management, administration, be an adjunct professor, start my own business. There's so many different options, and I have no regrets about going into the PA profession. If you have more questions about whether or not this profession is right for you, feel free to schedule a one-on-one appointment with me at my website at michellenesky.com. See you next time.